Hello everybody, welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video, as you can see by the video title, I'm going to be comparing Samsung Notes and Goodnotes, the Android version. And as you will know, Goodnotes has only recently been released on Android, and that's why we are going to be comparing it on the Samsung Tab S7 Plus. So if you are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Heen Shimaz. I'm a 5th year medical student at the University of Edinburgh, and as you know, on the channel we have been comparing lots of different note-taking apps over the years, and I thought we have to compare Samsung Notes and Goodnotes because Samsung Notes we are very familiar with. I use it a lot at medical school, but I really want to see how much potential Goodnotes has. So let's get into it. So Samsung Notes is a free application available via the Play Store on all your Samsung devices. It did used to be available on Windows as well, but unfortunately it's only limited to Samsung now. So that includes your Samsung phones, your Samsung tablets, and the Book Samsung laptops. So that is that. Now, the notes are able to sync across all of your Samsung devices. So if you have a Samsung-based ecosystem, it is a pretty good app. Goodnotes can also be downloaded via the Play Store, and this has only recently been released on Android and Windows devices. Previously this was an iOS only application, but now we have got it on Android as well, so you can sync your notes across Android and Windows applications, however not yet across your iOS and Android applications. The other thing to note here is that although this is a free to download application, there is an in-app purchase to gain access to all the features, which is around $7 per year, or you can get a 1-week free trial. Now, if you have got the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 or S9 series, then this will come preloaded and free to use for 1 year. Okay, jumping straight into Samsung Notes then, let's talk about the overall general interface. It's super easy to use. I think for me, when I was starting medical school, I found this very easy to navigate as someone who'd never used a digital note-taking application before. It's really easy to see all your folders down on the left-hand side here. It's really easy to actually create folders as well. We'll talk more about organization, but yeah, you've got some customization options there to create your folders. You can also very easily create new notes by clicking on the bottom right hand corner here, and it will take you right into a new note. It's automatically saved, so you don't have to worry about losing your work or anything like that. Jumping into some of these folders, you can see that the notes are very nicely organized like that, and it's actually very easy to add PDFs straight into Samsung Notes as well. So Samsung Notes is not only a note-taking app but also a PDF editor as well. So at the top right hand corner you can click the plus PDF button and it will take you to your files where you can import PDFs, which is really useful for university when you want to annotate lecture slides. You can also view all your notes from here, and you can see that it's again very easy to navigate. In terms of actually syncing, so I've obviously synced with the Samsung Cloud, and that's how I can view all my Samsung Notes on my tablet and on my phone, and if I were to get a Samsung Book laptop as well. Okay, jumping into Goodnotes then. So for this, I'm actually going to have to log in, and you can see that you can sign in with Google, Microsoft, or with Apple. Okay, so when you open up Goodnotes, it's a pretty nice interface as well. Okay, so since I'm going to be using Goodnotes for the first time, it's giving me the option of starting a trial or going for these payment options. So you can see it's actually £10 a year for your Android, Windows, and Apple access, and it's £7 a year for your Android, Windows, and web yearly access. Now you can see here that the sync between Apple and Android, Windows, web devices is coming soon. Now I do want to show you the differences between some of these plans because I personally don't think it's very worth it for the Android users at the moment to go for the paid option. So you can see in the free version at the moment you are allowed 3 notebooks. I know it's not ideal, but depends what your usage with Goodnotes is going to be. If you want the unlimited access, then I'd recommend you go for the Android and Windows yearly option. Now, if you went for the most popular option, that would also give you unlimited notebooks, but it would mostly give you some additional features on Apple-only devices. So it really comes down to your ecosystem. But I do think this is an app that is still being developed and tailored for Android and Windows, so it might be worth waiting a little bit more before you go for any of the paid versions. For the purposes of this review, I'm going to be just using the free version so I can show you a free comparison, since Samsung Notes is also free, to see what both of these apps can really offer. The interface on Goodnotes is also very simple and easy to use. You can see here that you can add new notes or a new notebook. You can import things in very easily. You can also start up a quick note. You also have a favorites tab at the side here. You have a share tab for collaborating on any of your notes. And you also have Marketplace, which is a feature that's not offered on Samsung Notes, where you can actually buy like templates and planners and all this kind of thing. So yeah, a little bit more collaborative opportunity on Goodnotes compared to the Samsung Notes. If we were to actually just create a quick note, you can see that it's actually quite similar to Samsung Notes in the way that you have your basic tools at the top and you can edit as you please, and it will automatically save it as you go. Okay, let me show you all the different tools available on Samsung Notes to actually make your beautiful notes. The first thing is when you open up a new note, you have lots of different pens to choose from. So you've got these fancy like fountain tip type pens. You also have your standard marker. You've also got a pencil, which actually does work with pressure sensitivity, as you can see here. Like I can go quite light, but I can also go quite heavy, and that works with the S Pen on the Samsung devices anyway. You then also have a paintbrush that you can use as well, and all of these pens you can customize their width. You can also customize their color, and there are a lot of color options there as well, including a spectrum if you want to be really specific. Okay, now the other great thing about Samsung Notes is that you can have a favorite pen list, so you can star your favorite pen. So I tend to just use the black, blue and red marker, and I switch between them by clicking the button on my S Pen. So I'll go from black, click on my S Pen, move into blue, click on my S Pen again, move into red, and this saves me having to go back and forth, so it's quite time efficient. The next tool that's available to us is the highlighter tool, and again you can have a favorites of these as well. So yeah, you've got your kind of straight highlighter, you have also got rounded highlighters as well, and you also have these ruler highlighters depending on if you want to use like a straight highlight. Now the other great thing is you can have a range of colors on these again, and you can change the opacity and the width of your marker as well. So lots of customization option there. The next tool to talk about is the eraser tool. You have two types that you can use here. So a stroke eraser, which will, in the name, it will erase the strokes, and you have an area eraser, which you can choose the width of, which will work like a regular eraser like that. Okay, now the other option we have is the lasso tool. Now lasso tool I have used a lot. It's great if you're a perfectionist and you're constantly wanting to move things around. So you have the rectangle lasso, which will cover a larger area like so. And you also have the free lasso as well if you just want one specific thing. Now the other great thing about the lasso tool is that you can change the style. So if you don't want this to be red, for example, you want it to be blue and you want to change the thickness, then we can do that quite easily without having to erase and do it all again. Other tools that we have, so we've got colors up here that you can customize as well. You've also got the undo button, and what you really should be looking out for in Samsung Notes is the option to convert your handwritten text to typed text, really. So let me show you a demonstration of that just now. Let's get rid of this. Now in this S Pen to text button, if you click on that, everything that you type from now on will be converted to typed text. Sorry. So if I was to say, "Hi there, this is HSTV." Now you can see there's like a little bit of a mistake there with the HIS, but for the most part it is quite accurate, and you can easily just go back and edit it with your keyboard as well if needed. So it's not, it's not the most perfect feature, but also it is accurate most of the time. So there's the option that you can use there. Now the other thing that you can do is this option right here called converting your text to typed text as well. So this is for if you've already written something like convert this text, and if we wanted to do that, you can see it does it for us, and you can just convert that and it will be there. I don't know why it's gone with this asterisk, we definitely don't need that. But that is how that feature works, and then that way this is in a text box that you can move around as well. So that is that. Okay, moving further on to the next tool that we have is this change style tool. So what this means is that if you, for example, have this line here and you want to change the style of this, make it thicker, and you want to make it purple, then you can just go over it and it will change the style. Sort of like what we were doing with the lasso tool. Other things that you have the option to do is this shape tool. So you can basically draw a shape and it will convert it into a proper shape for you. Same with like most shapes, it recognizes quite well. The interesting thing is you don't actually need the shape tool for it to mold into a proper shape. You can actually, without having that tool selected, you can just draw a shape and hold your S Pen there and it will convert it into the shape as well. The only difference is when you do it that way, you can customize it a bit, and you can move it around and everything, but not as much as what you can do with the shape tool. So it will tell you like the number of degrees, for example, that you're turning it. So I don't know if this is a useful feature, I've not used it much, but maybe for the mathematicians and the physicists out there. Yeah, so that is a very quick summary of the range of tools available to use on Samsung Notes. Okay, jumping into a new note then on Goodnotes. So we'll also quickly run through the tools here. So the first one up here, so you've got the option of a fountain pen, which is kind of in the name, I guess. You have a fountain pen, you've also got a ballpoint pen, and you also have a brush pen. Now I have to say the palm rejection on both devices is actually quite good, and you do have the option to tailor your pressure sensitivity on Goodnotes. So I just want to see how good this actually is. Yeah, so I actually do think that the pressure sensitivity on Goodnotes might actually be better than on Samsung Notes. I'm just kind of testing it out now, but you can see that, yeah, that's much better, I think. Now, the other thing which is similar to Samsung Notes is when you click on your S Pen button, in Samsung Notes you have to hold it to erase. On Goodnotes, you can click on the button and it will switch to the erase feature, and you click back to switch to your pen feature. And to change the color of your pens as well is a little bit different. So you basically click on the right hand side here and you have lots of colors to choose from. Again, similar to Samsung Notes, you've got all of these kind of within the spectrum to choose from, which is quite nice. I think it's quite handy. The erase option is obviously there, so you can go for the standard erase or you can go for the stroke erase, same as Samsung Notes. Now you also have the highlighting feature, and I'm just going to draw some lines here just to show you how it highlights. So with the highlight feature, you can decide if you wanted to draw in a straight line or not. So if we didn't, then it would look something like that, and if we did, then it would look like that. So I think the highlight feature on both Samsung Notes and Goodnotes works quite well. It highlights behind the text, so it's not like blocking what you've actually written. The shape tool is also good on Goodnotes, so I think it's quicker actually than Samsung Notes. I think Samsung Notes takes a little bit of time to process, but you can see it works quite well. The lasso tool is also quite good. So in this, you select your object and you tap on it, and you have the options to edit it, so you can resize it, similar to your Samsung Notes. The other thing that you can do is change the color of it. So, you know, all those options, again, available. So, and you can very easily get rid of everything. Okay, so the next tool to discuss then is this one, which is very unique actually. I've not seen this on Samsung Notes. So you have this option to add like sticky notes. So this is a nice feature that you can put onto your notes depending on whatever you're doing, and there are lots of really nice options to choose from. And the great thing is that obviously, remember, we are just using the free version just now. So on the free version, all these are available to you, and you can see that there's lots and lots and lots of options to choose from here. So yeah, it's very good. These are called elements, and they're very easy to actually add. So you can just write on your sticky notes like this. Easy. Okay, now we will talk about importing and exporting in a second, but yeah, you can add images into Goodnotes as well. You can add a text box. So I have to say, the options to add text are probably they're kind of 50-50 on both of these apps, because they're mostly made for handwritten text rather than typed text. If you want the king of typed text, then go on a Word document, So I think it gives you options, but it's nowhere near as what you would get on like a Word document. So just sort of keep that in mind with both apps. There's not many font options, there's not many, other options to edit your typed text. Okay, now the other thing to note here is this feature right here called your laser pointer. So your laser pointer is simply in the name, it's a laser pointer. So if you are presenting something on Goodnotes, you can kind of highlight it out to your audience and it will disappear. So you've got that option, or you've got the little laser point, which is unique, I think. I've not seen that on Samsung Notes. Back on Samsung Notes, let's have a look at your page customization options. So if you click on the More Options button in the top right hand corner, you can choose from a range of page templates. And yeah, I think we've got a decent few to choose from. If you did want to add more, there is the option to add from your gallery. So you can download externally as well, and I think that's quite nice. The other thing that you can do with your page is change the background color. So lots of colors to choose from. I really do like the black. I used this a lot in my first few years of medical school to make summary notes. So I think it's quite nice that you have that option. Other things that you can do with your actual page is to choose whether you want an infinite page or whether you want individual pages. And to do that, you have to actually go in the settings, and then you can choose the style of your new notes, and you can choose here if you would want an individual page layout or if you would want an infinite scrolling page. Depends on what you're doing. Template as well, again, you can choose a default template here along with your page color as well, so that's quite good. You don't have to do it every time you create a new note. The one thing that does annoy me in Samsung Notes is that you can't choose your page size. So by default it will download when you export your notes as A4 PDFs, but I think it would be nice to choose like portrait, landscape and other different dimensions of your page, but unfortunately we actually can't really do that. Okay, now on Goodnotes, you actually have to go back out of your note and into the settings on the top right hand corner, and then you can manage notebook templates from here. Now, I like the paid customization options on Goodnotes more than Samsung Notes. First of all, you can customize the cover of your book, which I think is really nice, and all of these ones here that you can see, they are available for free, which is actually quite nice. The other thing that you can do is change the size of your pages. So you actually have real options here. Depending on what you're doing, you can print your notes in this certain dimension. So, that's quite handy, I think. The other good option is that you can choose if you want this to be a vertical or horizontal book. And there's other options available for this as well. So I think the customization here is a lot nicer. The other thing is when you choose your page templates, there are a few templates here. Again, these are free for you, and you can choose, so for example, like planners, or you've got like dotted paper, or you might want squared paper, or whatever, 3-column, and whatever you want. And the great thing is here, you have some different pages to choose from, colors to choose from. So you've got dark, you've got yellow, and you've got white. So, you know, if we went for a dark and we went for, I don't know, single column, I don't know what that does, we'll save that, and then we can actually go and have a look at this notebook. Oh, it's not changed it, so I don't really know what's happened there. Let's go back and try that again. So that's been saved, and this has been saved. Oh, okay, so that's actually created a new default notebook. So I think what this will do is now, from now on, whatever notebook we create, so if we created a new notebook, then it would apply those settings. So it wouldn't apply these settings to your already made notebooks. This would be for new notebooks. So keep that in mind, I guess. So there's your cover, and you can pull to add pages, and you can scroll down and add more pages, and that's how this notebook would work. So I think it's more colourful, more customizable than Samsung Notes. Okay, let's talk about the import-export options on Goodnotes then. So you can import a document just quite easily here, and I'm actually going to import this Davidson's Principles and Practices of Medicine because this is a really large document, and here you can see a limitation of the free version of Goodnotes, so you can't import files over 5 MB, and this is a bit annoying. So yeah, large documents will not go into Goodnotes. Samsung Notes, on the other hand, you know, this is all free. You can import any size of PDF that you want. So this is quite a big PDF, but Samsung Notes will load it in for you. And I think it's quite smooth. It might take a little minute to load at points, but to be honest with you, it's quite nice and quite smooth, I would say. And you can flick through the different pages by having a look down the side here, and you can bookmark pages as well. So this is really nice. So as I said, it takes maybe a few seconds to load, but on the most part it's actually very easy and smooth to use. And on top of this, it's really handy that you can actually mark things up, you can write whatever you want, you can highlight things, and it's quite a good PDF editor, especially considering it's free on your Samsung devices. So I think from that perspective, you know, this book has 1,428 pages, and I think Samsung Notes has actually done quite a good job of loading it in and helping us to edit it as well. You can actually search for terms in here, so let's have a look, like dose. Let's see how it does with that. So it has actually given us all the pages that have the word dose in it, and that is quite interesting that it's done that. You can see here it's highlighted for us everywhere where it says dose. So I think it's a very good PDF editor and great for university students who want to edit their and annotate their lecture slides. Okay, back over to Goodnotes. Let's actually import something that can be imported, something less than 5 MB, such as this growth chart. I've been using this on my pediatrics block, and you can see that it's loaded it up quite nicely as well. It's quite clear, and as a PDF editor, you know, obviously this has only got 2 pages, but let's have a look and see how. So obviously you can still annotate it. I need to get rid of this green pen. I don't want it to be green anymore. Make it back to black, right? So yeah, it's quite good. You can annotate over, and then in terms of highlighting as well, so I think it's highlighting things quite well. You can still read it all, like you can see that. That's quite handy there. Other things that you can do with this now is, let's have a look. So you can choose go to page, so you can choose a page number and then go to the actual page. I guess this is good if you have a larger PDF. This has only got 2 pages, but scrolling direction you can choose as well if you want it to be like vertical, or if you'd rather have it like horizontal where you can kind of switch like a book. Other things that you can do is actually add pages within the actual note as well, so you can have like your own thing going on as well. So if you go like that, oh, release data page. Why is it not like, oh, okay, I don't know what's happening. So it seems to just have actually duplicated this page rather than adding a new page, which is a bit strange. Like now we have like 8 of the same thing. That's not great. I thought we could actually sort of add our like own blank page for notes, but it's not done that. I don't really know why. Like look, you can see here that it's added like 8 of the same page rather than adding a blank page, which is what I wanted. So I am not too sure why that's happening, but on Samsung Notes you can add additional pages of your own as well, and you can, you know, write notes within that. So I think as a PDF editor, Samsung Notes wins. In terms of other importing options, so on Samsung Notes you can import images along with other PDFs, voice recordings, audio files, drawings and text boxes. You can import all of that into your notes. Exporting is quite nice on Samsung Notes, I think. So you can invite collaborators and you can share it with them like that. But also if you just wanted to share your notes as a Samsung Notes file, you can do that. But if your other party does not have Samsung Notes, then it's fine. You can export as a PDF, as a Word file, as a PowerPoint file, an image file, or a text file. And if you have lots of notes that you want to export all at the same time, it's also very easy because you can just hold and select all your notes, and then you can click the More option and you can do Save as File, and you can choose from your file options, or if you want, you can do the Share option where you can also share as all these different file types. So it's actually quite nice and quite diverse. On Goodnotes, you can export as a PDF, or you can share a link for others to collaborate. Now, other than sharing as a PDF, I'm not too sure what other types of what other types of file type you can export in, because I've just not seen it. I don't know how to do it. So if anybody does know more about this other than exporting as a PDF, do let me know. But at the moment, what I can find is you can only export your notes as a PDF. So you've seen all the amazing tools that these apps have to offer, but I think to really get a feel for what a note-taking app can do is to make a note. So we're going to put these apps head to head now. I'm going to create a note almost identical on both of them, and then tell you what I felt went well and what I think could be improved and where I feel limited. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have tried to create an identical note both on Samsung Notes and on Goodnotes, and we have Samsung Notes here on the left hand side and Goodnotes on the right hand side. And before I even begin to kind of break down my user experience, I would say you can create a very decent, very nice aesthetic note on both apps, and I think the features are there for you to use. That's the first thing I would say. Secondly, the one thing that probably pops out the most to me in Samsung Notes is actually the highlighting feature, something that you tend to maybe overlook a little bit, but you can see how the highlighter sits quite nicely behind the text on Samsung Notes, and it helps the white text pop out the page. Whereas on the Goodnotes, the highlighter seems to sit on top of the text, so it's a little bit annoying how the white text is sitting behind and it doesn't pop out as nicely. I don't know if this is because I'm using the grey background. It might be nicer with the black text, I'm not sure, but you can see that the black page colour is actually darker on Samsung Notes compared to Goodnotes. So I really like that the colours really pop out of the page on Samsung Notes. The second difference I noticed is with the erasing feature. Now, the erasing feature on both applications you can do with the S Pen button. On Samsung Notes, you hold the button and you erase, no issues whatsoever. On Goodnotes, what I noticed is that because you have to tap the S Pen button to switch between the eraser and the pen, every time I would tap the button, it would for some reason lead me into the S Pen gestures menu out the side, and I think you saw that as well, but it became a little bit annoying at some points to actually just like navigate that. But it's not like the end of the world. It was doable. You can still make good notes with that. You can just click on and off with the eraser button, but maybe a slight compatibility issue there. Something that I liked on Goodnotes more than Samsung Notes is these sticky notes features, and I was able to add these into the notes. And what I would say to this is, I'm not too sure, but if you can buy like more sticky notes, maybe more ones particular to like medicine or something, I think that would be like really cool that you could do that, because it would just make your notes look a lot more fun and more aesthetic, and I think that is really important when you're note taking. So that's like some key differences that I noticed. Overall, I think you can create very good notes on both applications. I just prefer the way the Samsung Notes one has turned out, in my opinion. Obviously on Goodnotes, I do like that you can choose page sizes, and that might be important if you're someone who wants to export your notes or take printouts, that kind of thing. So yeah, just kind of keep those things in mind. But overall, I think both apps did really well. Alright everybody, well that is going to be the end of this video. I hope this has been useful. Let me know your winner down in the comments, and if you'd like more note-taking app comparisons, or if there's an app that you would like me to review, then please also let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.